one or the quad? You want the split or number one? Nein, das ist ITR, das ist eigentlich so, das heißt Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Norisring, one of the trickiest circuits on the FIA Formula 3 European Championship. We're looking there at Felix Morales, who will start in third position, the Puerto Rican driver who's got a bit of a dodgy back. We'll come into that a little bit later. But sensational news here that the pole sitter is racing under appeal. That's the man who has won the last of the 4 races in this championship in a row. Felix Rosenqvist also last week won the Zandvoort Masters. We're looking at Alex Lim, but let's just carry on with this Rosenqvist story, Dave Richardson, because just as I was coming to the commentary booth, I learned that they found something wrong with the fuel in his car. They do regular fuel tests to check that it is in compliance. And apparently the Muka Motorsport team will appear to have mixed up some fuel cans or something, and the fuel has got contaminated or something, Dave.
Yes.
So he races under appeal, and in my experience, those appeals aren't usually successful, so he may be racing for nothing really, but he'll start from the pole position alongside his arch rival in this series this year, and the man who leads it at the moment, Rafael Marciello. We're going back through the field here, and we're looking here at, well, not a newcomer to the series, Alex Sims, as we go upside down, because in a minute we'll come to the New Zealand newcomer, but there is Lucas Auer, another winner in this championship. So Rosenqvist will start from the pole on a 48.997, 1,000th of a second. He was faster than Rafael Marciello. Just think about that, 1,000th of a second. Effectively, they were the same. There's a nice shot of the grid. There's a band still playing, as you can see on the big screen. It's a warm day here. The air temperature currently 27 degrees centigrade, and that should affect it. But this is a pretty low grip track with the 2 hairpins and the one left and right around the big stadium, the old Nazi stadium. And we'll see lots of incident here. So it's all happening, Dave.
Well, it is. And the thing is, you and I around the paddock, the Formula 3 paddock earlier this morning, and we had no whiff of that sensational news that you learned on the walk over to the comms booth. Now, Rosenqvist, of course, charging hard in the points. He's had some fantastic success as we look at Tom Blomqvist. As a racing driver, the team have lodged the appeal, Andrew.
Yep.
Is that going to unsettle him before he gets the green?
Absolutely. He'll be very unsettled indeed. And just looking, the decision, it appears to have been taken. When did they issue this document? It's just been handed to me at 9:40 this morning.
Right.
So it was only just put in the media centre as I was walking out. So that is the news. Rosenqvist starting under appeal. And also car 17, Antonio Giovinazzi. He has a drop of 5 positions on the grid. I think that was for speeding in the pit lane.
Now, this is Nick Cassidy we're looking at, Andrew. And Nick Cassidy is joining us on track here for Euro International. And Nick Cassidy has had loads of success in the Toyota series, and he's beaten some of the drivers that are actually on this Formula 3 grid. And you think he's going to do really well?
Well, Dave, I'm being drowned out by some music from that rock band, and I don't know what's happening here. Obviously, wires plugged into the wrong holes in somewhere or other.
So Louis Felipe Durrani then from Fortec Motorsports that we're looking on here, as Andrew just trying to sort out the music we had in our headphones, which
I
really
hope
was
you didn't get it, folks. Yeah, just saw the Brazilian flag at the back of his steering wheel there. Order and progress, it says on the flag.
Roy Nissany, then another of the Muka Motorsport drivers there. We can see him on the grid. He's starting from P11, Andrew.
Yeah, a student from Tel Aviv, and that's pretty good qualifying. But Rosenqvist, 48.997, 1,000th of a second. 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 1, We mentioned, as we went upside down with the camera, there is a New Zealander here in his first Formula 3 race, Nick Cassidy.
Yes.
Won't count for points. Car number 52, and Cassidy is definitely a man to watch. I was speaking to the Euro International team earlier, and they're so happy with his progress here. There is a Jordan King. And we also must mention that we have lost from this championship not only Will Buller, who is now going to be competing full-time in the World Series by Renault 3.5 Championship, but we have also lost Josh Hill. And, well, Josh apparently deciding that he would prefer to be a drummer in a rock band.
It's his
well,
music
he is in
career.
a rock band,
Yeah.
than be a racing driver, and almost unprecedented for young guys in the middle of the season. Has decided to hang up that famous London Rowing Club helmet, and that's a disappointment because the boy was going well. I like Dynasties. It was nice to have a third generation really showing talent, but well, Josh Hill, brave move, as Trevor Carlin said to us earlier on, by him.
And it was interesting, wasn't it? Because, you know, me, forever the cynic, I wondered actually whether his drumming in his musical career was actually the truth behind that. But everyone we've spoken to, Andrew, says it's absolutely genuine. You know, he was undecided. Which route does he want to take? Does he want to take his musician route? Does he want to take his racing driver route? And he has decided to go down the top 10 way.
Warm-up lap then here at this street circuit. Basically, this road goes down to a big football stadium, and there you see some of the parking slots. That's where they park up for the football stadium. Just behind you saw the big concrete stadium where Adolf Hitler made some of his speeches. And there is the Grundig hairpin. That's the tighter of the two hairpins. And then the next corner is the left-right.
Here is the grid then. Felix Rosenqvist, Raffaele Marciello, then Poland P2, then it's Felix Sorales and Alex Lynn, then we see Alexander Simpson, Lucas Auer. Tom Blomqvist and Harry Tinknell with Nick Cassidy and Pippo Durrani, Roy Nassani and Jordan King, Michael Lewis, Lucas Wolff, Sven Muller, Danny Kvyat, saw some impression from him earlier on in the year, Nicholas Latifi and Eddie Cheever, Giovinazzi and Mitchell Gilbert, then P19 and P20 on the grid here at the Norisring with Jan Mardenborough, of course, combining this with GT outings as well, or endurance racing.
And racing at Le Mans.
Dennis van der Laar, Sean Galliel, and then we see the rest of the pack there on screen in front of you. Now, for me, it's the first time here at Norisring, and I thank you, Andrew Marriott, for giving me a good tour around the place before we got here.
Yeah, that's the other hairpin there. I call it the lake hairpin. It is down by a man-made lake. And there you see the relatively simple layout of this. Really, the two hairpins, because the right-hander just under the int 2 is flat out.
Yes.
But pretty bumpy round here, as you say, low adhesion. And just you have to be so accurate. The walls are so close. And with these 28 young tyros here, well, I expect a few bent wishbones and broken steering arms before we're done. As we said, a hot day here. Rosenqvist racing under appeal. He is in the orange car, number 8 on the left-hand side of your picture. Marciello then didn't race in the Masters last weekend. He was involved in a Ferrari karting event. Remember, he's backed by the Ferrari Academy. And they put a lot of pressure on that young man. And then Felix Sorales got a couple of hairline cracks in one of his vertebrae, we understand, from an accident at Silverstone towards the end of last year. Nice shot of
So the green flag across the back of the pack then, Andrew, and this race is about to get underway.
And they launch now, and somebody comes out to the inside there, and that was, I think, Sven Muller. But what's going to happen down at the first corner? And here they come, and there'll be some daring outbraking manoeuvres here. And people tend to get spun round in the middle of the pack, but it's all clean so far. And that's almost a record here, I think. Everyone's clean. Now, the right and left Schultz hairpin. Some tyre smoke coming up from the Hankooks, but again, it's all clean around here.
Big lock up there from Tinknell, wasn't there, going into that corner? But what a start from
Rosenqvist.
So the pack all through then, this the opening lap then. And Marciello it is that got the fantastic start as we see a spinner now.
That's Latifi there in the blue car, 26, along with the 25 car of Eddie Cheever.
So Marcello, Rosenquist, Lynn, Sorales, Auer, Sims, Muller and Blomqvist. Marcello getting an absolutely blistering start from the off and leads the race at the moment.
Yeah, Sims going strongly in the Nissan car. Those two are going to sort themselves out. Two from North America.
So he's Marcello then, here he is as he leads then around this Norisring circuit. Marcello from Rosenquist, from Lynn. So there, brilliant shot of them and just how close they go to the wall on the exit of that hairpin, Andrew.
Yeah, they have to use every inch of the track here. Lynn going strongly in third, Sorales fourth, then it's Auer and Sims now in the T-Sport cars and overtaking Minot for the lead here, and it's not going to work, but Rosenquist going all the way around the outside and looking very racy indeed, not affected then in his head by this shadow that hangs over him. This infringement, which could lead, of course, to a disqualification from this race. We're told that he won't be allowed on the podium. I was being told in the media since that came out.
So then Marcello leads, but Rosenquist is keeping him keen all the way at the moment. Now coming under some, just a little bit of pressure from Alex Lynn there as well. So those are the 1, 2, 3. It's Marcello, Rosenquist and Lynn with Sorales P4 and then Auer in P5 as you see them heading towards us right now. There is confirmation on the screen of where we're at with this race. Marcello, Rosenquist, Lynn, Sorales, Auer, Sims, Durrani and young Tom Blomqvist.
Yeah, Blomqvist going well here in 8th place.
Sven Muller. Drive-through penalty jump start, Andrew.
Yep. Well, we saw him come out, didn't we?
Yes, we
mentioned
did.
That.
Yep,
and 5 under investigation as well, and that's Michael Lewis. Look to the left-hand side of your screen, and there he goes.
Yeah, that was a definite jump, wasn't it? And we've got a car staller there on the grid as well. That was the problem there.
Yeah.
But this was Marcello's fantastic start then. So we go back live. We're on lap 3 of 42. Then Marcello still leading from Rosenquist, Lynn, Sorales, Auer and Sims. And Marcello now beginning to build up just a little bit of a cushion at the front. Some 8/10 last time around over Felix Rosenquist.
Don't know what happened to, was that Cassidy that stalled maybe? I think
Possibly
it was,
so.
you know, because he's dropped right back to 20th. Not used to starting these cars, so we got a mucker car going wide at the hairpin.
So fastest lap set by Rafael Marcello, then a 49.848, 49848 from Marcello. So we see a lock up there.
I think that was Lewis who went long at the hairpin.
Saw Michael Lewis, didn't we, just before we came down to the commentary booth.
Marcello, Rosenquist, Lynn, Sorales, Auer, Alexandra Sims returning to Formula 3. And with the T-Bond team, he's won with them in the past.
Pippo Durrani there.
Durrani under pressure from Blomqvist.
So Durrani getting past Blomqvist then. Oh, and there, Mitchell Gilbert.
Yeah, Mitch Gilbert's found this pretty challenging this first year of Formula 3, and he's in...
That's a really dodgy place.
It certainly is. They'll try and snatch him out of there. 42 laps this race, 6 gone, and well, it's not locked in gear. And Marshall's run to help as cars come along, and there's no flags. Well, there's a flag on the inside,
yes,
but not quite waved as you'd want. And they got to wait for all that. And then they got the safety car has come out, and they've got to filter people through there, of course. So it'll be a little bit of catching up to do. The safety car has not come out in front of the lead machine. Now they're getting a wave past to catch up.
Yeah.
And he's abandoning ship.
Well, thankfully, I could see some real problems coming there, Andrew.
Well, that's what caused it then.
Yes, that was Galial, wasn't it, in car number 32?
Yeah, the young 16-year-old Indonesian boy, Sean Galial.
Yeah, we can see it again. Really ambitious move from Sean there as he took to the curbs, didn't he? And that was always going to end in ended in a nightmare then for Gilbert. And there is Gilbert. Then his race is over, and that's a shame because actually, I guess that's Galial then.
I guess he's got damaged suspension.
You can see the front offside front wheel is damaged there. So.
Well, that's the front of the field, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, thankfully, the safety car did get out wherever it got. It didn't get out into the right position, but at least it held those cars up, didn't it?
I think they brought a second safety car out, and now they're behind him. So this will all close up, and we should be underway. Watch those lights to go out. Everything flashing between the four rings and round the headlights. Here's a replay again of the start and that jump from the 7 car.
And I think you're right. I think that was Cassidy that was stalled there. And Marcello just held on, didn't he? He got the inside line, and a great start from Marcello. Everyone doing well to avoid the stricken car there, as you can see, managing to get past. And there we see it again, hands being waved frantically, and everyone did avoid, and that was where Marcello just kept his foot in and was going to be first into this hairpin, and that's where he took the lead as the rest of the pack came pummeling through. Andrew?
Remember our last F3 Euro Series, Zeller there got punted off. Zeller. Spun round somewhat harmlessly.
Yeah, did well not to collect anyone else on the way round, but didn't.
Swiss second-generation driver. That was the incident with Latifi. And there you just saw other cars just avoiding that.
Durrani and Muller there, and Muller, of course, having...
Was Kvyat just missing that as well? I think he was.
So still under safety car conditions. No word. Safety car has disappeared. No word on our screen as to, yes, safety car in. So we are back away and racing again. The race being led by Rafael Marcello with Rosenqvist, Lynn, P2 and P3.
So it's be down to that hairpin again. Let's see if there's some daring last-minute braking manoeuvres. See on the inside of that, Dave, that all used to be grass down the inside there. People sometimes came down through that, causing absolute mayhem. About 5 years ago, they tarmacked it over, which was definitely a good idea. Marcello with a 0.6 second lead over Rosenqvist and then Lynn. Marcello with victories, 2 victories at Monza, 1 at Silverstone, 2 at Hockenheim, and then 1 at Brands Hatch, and then didn't have a good weekend 6 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring, where his lead at the top of the championship table was seriously eroded by Rosenqvist.
So Blomqvist and Durrani having a real battle for P7 at the moment. Marcello, Rosenqvist, Lynn, Sorrellis, then it's our Simpson, Durrani and Blomqvist.
New boy Cassidy's back there in 17th at the moment. Marden Rout, should mention him, he's in 13th place. What a great event he had at the Le Mans 24 Hours. Did a superb job in the LMP2 Nissan powered car.
And off the back of that is got some more of that racing to come as well, hasn't he, Andrew?
Yes, it certainly got in a great opportunity for Nissan. Latifi coming very close there to Goddard through that corner.
Yeah.
And Marcello just edging away a tiny, slender bit.
So Michael Lewis on the charge here. Good move from Michael Lewis there.
And Lewis has got another penalty, though, it appears. Drive-through penalty for Lewis.
And his penalty for infringement of Article 37.8. Andrew, have you got that book in front of you?
I'm not sure, to be honest. There's Lucas Wolf going through. Wolf and Nizani following him. Down in 11th and 12th place.
So there we can just see to the left of our picture, drive-through about to be taken, I think.
Very high speed braking. Whoa! Yeah, well, he came miles too fast, didn't he? And that is Spike Goddard.
Well, he was never going to scrub that speed off, was he?
Never going to scrub.
And it was just as you were mentioning, that high speed, or the high, hard braking area.
And it goes into the Dutch driver, Dennis van der Laar. We're going to see it from another angle. Here he comes. And hits the back of van der Laar's car. And Goddard makes a big mistake there with the second of the 3 Bond cars. Real dive bomber effort.
Oh, that was...
I mean, he didn't brake 0.1 of a second too late, did he? He braked a second too late. You see the rear suspension deranged, and I think we might have the safety car out again. Now, this is somewhat typical of these races here at the Norisring.
Whilst all that is playing out, Marciello then has got a second gap over our second place driver, Felix Rosenqvist. Then a further half a second back is Alex Lynn.
Rosenqvist, Lynn, and Serralis trying down the inside, not going to work, but had a little look at it. Quarter of the way through the race.
So there is our race leader.
We've just got a local yellow down at the Grundig hairpin, and they've craned that car away nicely.
Well, the recovery team on that crane doing a great job, Andrew, because it meant we didn't have to deploy the safety car again.
There's the red and white car, Mardenborough. So a little bit of debris, as they say in the States, on the racetrack.
And Cassidy getting past Mardenborough now, so Nick Cassidy beginning to...
really show his talent. Remember, he won the New Zealand Grand Prix for the last 2 years, and the Toyota Racing Series is the reigning Toyota Racing Champion, and that's a series in the winter where quite a lot of the young hot shoes go and get some extra seat time. Kind of those Toyota-powered cars, just a little bit less powerful than these Formula 3 machines. And Nick Cassidy's been in Britain all season trying to find a ride, and finally has got one. Highly talented young man.
Yeah.
Trying to make the best. I'm told he'll be in the car for the rest of the season. You see the change of surface, David. They go off the tarmac onto these concrete blocks here. Paving stones, in effect.
Yes.
Marciello from Rosenqvist.
So then, and an off there for, that's Tatiana Calderon.
Yeah, and I think she's off and out.
So the Double R Racing driver, Tatiana Calderon. Then,
she's hit something first.
There's been some contact there, hasn't there?
Yep.
You can see that misbent wheel. Obviously the result of a collision somewhere that we've not seen. Doubtless we'll get a replay of that. Here it comes.
Well, there's just 2 ladies hit each other.
Michaela Ceruti then.
Yeah.
In the all-pink machine.
No comments, Dave.
Would I? Would I?
See how dirty it is offline here as well. And then, well, classic error here, which is seen so many times in Formula 3. And there she decides to pull off after managing to notice that the right front wheel is not at the angle it's supposed to be.
So Marciello at the front then now with a 1.3 second lead over Felix Rosenqvist, who in turn is 7/10 ahead of Lynn. Then it's Serralis and Lucas Auer and Alexander Sim and Pippo Durrani and Tom Blomqvist.
Yes, Sim for the T-Sport team, taking the seat that Will Buller vacated. Will did switch to another Formula 3 team briefly and has now decided to stick with Renault 3.5, which was originally his intention for the
Yes, it was.
season at the beginning. So his deal to go to T-Sport for Formula 3 was a bit of a late one because he couldn't get the 3.5 deal together. But now he has joined the Zeta Course team, and he says he might do the Macau Formula 3 race at the end of the season. So, shot there of Muller, Sven Muller, who of course has been in the pits after that jump start we saw. Blomqvist in 8th.
So just watching the that car in the middle of our screen, that's Giovinazzi.
Yeah, a young Italian, very good karting career. And quite a lot of people thought he would be a real front runner this year in Formula 3, and he hasn't really been.
No, down there in P15 at the moment for Giovinazzi. And interestingly, whether Marciello made a small error, Andrew, on the last lap, but the 1.1 second margin has come down to just 6/10 now. So Rosenqvist is either reeling Marciello in and his car is coming to him in this very sort of mid-stage of the race, or Marciello made an error somewhere.
I think he must have made an error unseen by us. There's that right and left Scholler curve, they call it. Basically takes the two parallel roads, takes them off the one that goes on the front of the big Nazi stadium to the back of the stadium. 27, that's Mardenborough still there in 13th place, and Cassidy still chasing him down.
Interesting line there through that hairpin for Marciello and Rosenqvist. Completely different one to Lynn and Sorales, Andrew, as we see.
Yeah, Tatiana Calderon from Colombia. I think her family are the Kia importers. Oh, got a safety car again. Well, maybe that's just to get some of that.
There was some debris, wasn't there?
Yes, there was debris on the racetrack. So that'll close everything up again. And out goes the Audi RS5. Lights flashing from every corner.
So safety car awaits picking up our leader then, Raffaele Marciello.
And this is public roads, David. That's tend to be quite bumpy because of that. There's a nice shot. You just see how you're running there. Cars going in opposite directions, very close to each other. Rosenqvist just... well, here's this all-girl incident. And it is under investigation. I think there's only one loser in that investigation. We're looking at her now.
Yeah.
What's that bloke looking for? Oh, it looks as if he's going for his phone.
Did. You're right.
There she is.
So she
had quite a bit of success out in the Star Mazda series, as it was then called, in the United States. There's that stadium. Apparently there's a great big stateroom in the middle of that.
Is there?
With a big marble hall, apparently. Never been able to get in it. So these 2-litre engines, Volkswagen, Mercedes. We've got Mercedes motor at the front.
Obviously,
yeah, she's still going.
The incident between Calderon and Cerruti then didn't damage the Cerruti car. She's still out there, isn't she?
Well, there's Peter Mucker.
Peter Mucker
He's
running.
Of course, it's his car which is under investigation. He's running back onto their stand, but maybe he's been in the steward's room. What happens sometimes, Dave, you get these fuel infringements. They're not deliberate, but sometimes they get cans mixed up.
Yes.
And maybe they've used a can that team uses on the DTM or one of their other race teams, because they've got several race teams, and it's got a bit of the wrong fuel in, and then the analysis finds that. A professional racing team like Muka should not do that, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is I don't think there's been a deliberate cheat.
No.
I think there's been a mix-up, probably with the fuel cans like that.
But whether it's, and of course, won't have been deliberate, it will have been just a mistake, but, you know, a penalty can still apply, Andrew, can't it?
Oh, the penalty will still apply.
You know, so let's not lose sight of the fact that the man you're looking now in the centre of your screen is...
racing under appeal,
racing under appeal,
and may have his second place, if that's indeed where he finishes, taken away from him, and that will really hurt his championship chances, because he came into this race on a big charge, won 3 of these races in a row, then went on and won the Masters. And there is Mitch Gilbert contemplating his fate when he gets back to the pits, and no question about, or was that? Yeah, that was Gilbert, wasn't it?
So the points going into this race, Marcello leading with Felix Rosenqvist in second place, and that's how it is on track at the moment, isn't it? With Marcello leading, Rosenqvist P2, Lynn is P3, Sorales P4, and well, there was some doubting Sorales being on
Cassidy I see is up to 11th, so Cassidy on the cusp of a top 10 in his first Formula 3 race. He did test for T-Bond, I understand, before he got this ride with the Euro International team out of Italy. Marcello, Rosenqvist and Lynn, as it's been most of the way. Lights still flashing on that pace car.
So Sim then, who's currently in P6. Of course, we've seen him earlier, but the car is...
Yeah, we're just getting a quick
entered now. So
text here saying we think that Alexander Sims may be eligible for points because the car was originally entered.
Yes.
It started was at the start of the season that car was running, whereas Kvyat doesn't get any points.
No.
And you know, he's been in every race since the second event. Seems a bit crazy to me, but there you are. Rules is rules, and you can't always understand them.
No. Now, Andrew, you were talking about the injury to Sorales.
Yes, to the Puerto Rican driver.
What did you find out? I mean, it's just a tiny hairline vertebrae crack or something?
Yes, apparently, which after he had his big crash at Silverstone the end of last year, he went to Northampton General Hospital. I think we're going again, are we? And yes, we are. Green flag, we're going again. Anyway, they missed this hairline crack. He's been to see somebody, presumably in America, that's found it, and he's got to be a little bit careful. But doctors have said he can race and it will heal naturally. So
race back on again now from that safety car deployment. Marcello, Rosenqvist, Lynn. The 1, 2, 3 then as we get racing underway. Where are we? 25 of the 42 laps done and dusted in the sunshine here at the Norisring.
Yeah, we had these 2 safety car periods, Dave. There's only 10 minutes of this race remaining, so I don't think we'll go the full lap distance, will we?
No, it's going to be time.
I'm really impressed by this kid Cassidy in the 52 car.
Blomqvist and Durrani.
It's a nice camera shot, isn't it, right
is.
there? You get the real whoosh. See the speed round here and how close they go to the walls.
Lock up there.
That was
from
Blomqvist, but I think it worked, didn't it? And take Blomqvist past Durrani. Nicholas Latifi, the young Canadian driver, is running down there in 17th place. Not as far up as we'd expect him. Trevor Carlin saying he's really impressed with him. There he is, the twin-tone blue car, as he goes down the inside.
Well, that was a good move.
But that's the cars at the front.
So it's The battle for...
and by the way, Cassidy's gone to 10th now.
Now the Durrani-Blomqvist battle that is continuing to rage here with Tinkley and Cassidy behind, but look at these, absolutely side
Cassidy,
by
the
side.
52 car. Remember, he's never raced a Formula 3 car before, Cassidy. He has never been to this circuit before. And look, he's gone right up into the top 10 here. We think he screwed up his start a bit. And they're very strong on the brakes there. Puts himself in exactly the right place.
That was a great move.
Yeah.
Got that set up absolutely perfectly. Oh! And
Latifi in the wars. Damage to Latifi. Broke the steering arm on that car.
Well,
and damage to the left rear as well.
Able to dive into the...
Well, they won't be doing anything there. They'll be pushing it to one side and starting working on it for the next race. What happened to Latifi here then?
You just see, he just catches the back end there.
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
Launches himself.
Yeah.
So just caught the rear of Nissani and up in the air he went. And as you say, broken arm there. That's going to be the end of his race, isn't it?
Yeah, Trevor was saying he's got the speed, this boy, but he's still learning his racecraft. And there was a big lesson for him.
So then the Durrani-Blomqvist P7 battle. Cassidy joining in that now. In there is Cassidy, who's
he's just in front of King, isn't he? Saw him go past King.
So he is going to be on that battle very, very soon. He has been impressive, Andrew, when you consider, as you say, not been to this circuit before.
These boys have been racing these cars all season. Well, with the exception of Alexander Sim.
So this is the battle that I've been watching between
Durrani and Blomqvist.
Blomqvist, of course, for this season with that additional backing that he's received.
Yeah. Alexander Sims racing in GP3 last weekend, as was Kvyat.
So King there, we're just having another go at Cassidy. So Cassidy has not been able to get away as I perhaps thought he might, having got past King.
Yeah,
what
just
are we doing? 6 minutes left, Andrew.
Yep.
Sorales and Auer together there. Auer going through.
Oh, almost nudged him, didn't he? Auer, of course, the nephew of Gerhard Berger. Well, Gerhard Berger, at the time, of course, one of the tallest. Oh, yeah, he just kissed the wall there. So Berger, one of the tallest Formula 1 drivers of his time.
Yeah.
And Lucas Auer's a little short chap. Probably only about 5'5".
That was the replay
that's
of
Cassidy.
Getting past...
that black helmet going past Jordan King. He's a rookie in Formula 3 this year, remember? Father, the CEO of the big Sainsbury's supermarket chain. And quite a controversial figure in the city as well. There's Sims in that bright yellow helmet. Flags are flying. Used to call Alexander Sims the Blueberry Kid because his dad is one of the biggest importers. He is the biggest importer of blueberries into Europe, I believe.
Yeah, up there in East Anglia.
Yeah, well, I think they grow them all around the world, I'm told.
Oh, yes.
Mardenborough in 12th place. Solid showing from him, but the boy that's impressing me is this 18-year-old Nick Cassidy from Auckland, New Zealand. I think we're going to hear a lot more of this young man. And strangely enough, he's now closing in on Tom Blomqvist, who was brought up in New Zealand. So they quite possibly raced each other in karts. So I must check that with them.
You'll have noted the top of your screen has changed from laps to time now. Just on 4 minutes or so left to this first of the Formula 3 races across this weekend here at the Norisring. Marcello Rosenqvist, Liam Auer, then it's Sorales, Sims, Durrani, Blomqvist, and in P9 is this young New Zealand star, Nick Cassidy. So that replay then of Sorales and Lucas Auer making good.
And there's, I think, is that the warning light hanging off
Yes,
there, the
it is.
triangular?
We've seen that once or twice where it's just hung by the wire because it's been dislodged from its mounting.
It's probably had a whack
Yes.
from the nose of another Dallara, I should think. Well, it's always been tight at the front, never been more than a second apart, but Rosenquist just doesn't seem to have an answer. And he may not have an answer for the stewards why his fuel was
Now, you
not
were saying
with the specification.
walking over here that you'd heard that Rosenquist may not be allowed to take the podium.
That's what, the press officer Anya told me.
So we're 3 minutes away from finding out whether that is going to be the case or not.
Whoa!
Assuming they stay the same.
And is that Giovinazzi, or is it? We looked at those two cars earlier on from that team, and it is indeed Giovinazzi. They are exactly got the same colour mirrors they've got, and they've taken Muller out.
Now that's going to be surely another safety car, Andrew,
Well, I
right
would
at
have
the
thought so,
closing
yeah.
stages of this because of where they are.
And that's totally down to Muller.
Yep.
That same mistake again of that Grundig hairpin. Too optimistic, too late on the brakes.
Oh.
He managed to throw it sideways,
Yeah,
and he
to
sort
try
of
and
went
scrap
wheel
some
to wheel
speed
in
off.
the end. Well, the Prema Power team, it's got all the moves, hasn't it?
He's replaying that, isn't he?
Yeah. So Muller with the Marcon team and the double R team car, and go on, get out of the way, mate. There's a race going on here. So, oh, and Lucas Wolf. Now, how was he involved? What's happened to him?
Well, was it Wolf that we saw going around the outside of that incident?
Yeah.
I'm sure if we see that in replay, maybe not.
No, there's Wolf locking up. I know he's got a brake problem. Lucas Wolf climbs out and walks around. Is he going to kick it? No, he's not. I've got a sneaking suspicion they might bring the safety car out here and we might finish under the yellow. Well, the crane has gone to work, but they've only got one.
Yeah.
Now they've got to crane the one car. Now they go through the Scholler S.
So Marcello Rosenquist, Lynn from our Sorales Sims.
And thanks very much to Jamie O'Leary. Yes, Cassidy and Blomqvist have been mates since they were 8 years old.
There you go.
And together with Mitch Evans, the three of them. So thanks, Jamie, for that. So Cassidy now in ninth place as the young Italian's car is pulled out of the way with its sponsorship from the Indonesian distributor of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think that literally translated, that means jolly good chicken.
That's it. It's very well
So
done.
I'm told.
Well,
Cluck.
we've just got a few seconds left as...
Yep, so the flag will go out, and another win for Marciello, who has avenged that awful weekend he had at Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Rosenquist, well, we don't know what will happen. We might have to wait for a couple of weeks for that decision to be taken. Could be, of course, that Muka Motorsport do drop their appeal, and at least it means that allowed the Muka car to battle for the lead as we're coming now towards the checkered flag then, which presume is hung somewhere around this corner. And great drive by this teenage prodigy of Ferrari. And there the checkered flag awaits, and another victory for Rafael Marciello, and he wins it by, at the end, just 0.3 of a second from Rosenquist. Another strong race by Alex Lynn, and then it's Auer another winner this season. Sorales comes home 5th. Alexandra Sims comes home in 6th place. Durrani, one of his best results of the season, is 7th. Then the two old sparring partners, Tom Blomqvist and Nick Cassidy, 8th and 9th. And then another Brit, it's King in 10th place. And Tinknell finishes 11th, Mardenborough 12th. Then Nizani and Rudensdorf kept out of trouble to 14th place. Michael Lewis, who'd had a penalty. And then the rest of the field of Cerruti actually getting a result. Coming home in 16th spot, Zella 17th. Actually, Cerruti, I should say, sorry, 18th place for her.
Cheever in 16th.
Yeah, Cheever was in 16th place.
So there, replay of Marcello taking the checkered flag then. Well, interestingly, on our timing screen, Andrew, the results have changed. It's Marcello Lynn Hour.
Yeah, well, see what happens once the appeal. I mean, maybe we saw Peter Mucker running back to his pit. It might have been that he'd withdrawn that appeal, but because it let his bloke start on the pole. I think it's highly unlikely that Rosenquist will get any points, actually.
Well, that plays into the hands of this man, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. It's just, this is huge for him in his...
as you say, he had a torrid time of it at the Red Bull Ring, and Rosenquist really had a great time.
There was discussion that the way that the... Oh, there she is, Tatiana, waiting to go back to the pits. Discussion about the wet tyres. That race where it was held in the wet, and the tyres were maybe of the same batch, but had been kept in a different way, stored longer, and just weren't working so well, and that's why he was off the pace there. But anyway, he will forget that. And now we have the Prema team 1-2 there, with the Italian flag flashed down the side of the car. There he does his celebration. It's almost like a little boxing punch, isn't it? You know, close-in boxing punch. So officials already getting ready to orchestrate the podium. So we think will be up on the podium in 3rd place. I'm number 1.
Yeah. So here, confirmation of the result then, Raffaele. Marcello taking the win from Alex Lynn, and Lucas Auer then P3 with Felix Sorales P4, Alexander Sims P5. Pippo Durrani then having a great race with Tom Blomqvist P6, P7, and then Cassidy, who's really impressed you, P8. Then it's King 9, Tinknell in P10, and then the rest of the result, as you can see there on your screen. So, well, Cassidy doing very well, Andrew.
Yeah, Kvyat going out right at the beginning. Mitch Gilbert out, we saw him. And already we've got a parade of cars down there.
Yes, Sirocco's out, isn't it,
for their practice.
So
well,
Lucas
they're qualifying, actually. It'll be Sirocco qualifying next, won't it? So here, the Prema Power team, what a great job they've done in Formula 3 over a period of 20 years. And I'm sure Rennie Rossin will be celebrating, the team manager, second generation team manager with that squad. And the number 1 on Marciello's car. Remember, he fought for the championship a year ago and lost out in the closing stages. And that was that little boxing punch we saw. Then over to the team.
Nice overhead shot of Norisring. And
Yep. Well, it's an extraordinary venue, isn't it? Just outside the city of Nuremberg. Fans are massing for DTM qualifying, which will be coming up in a couple of hours' time. So we just saw the Siroccos going out, and amongst the guest drivers in the Siroccos will be Marco Werner, former Le Mans winner, and Nicola Larini. And Larini was fastest in the practice in one of those guest cars. So waiting for this podium, and there from that shot we can see virtually the whole circuit, Dave, bar the Grundig hairpin. So the one crane is just to get the damaged cars out of the way. The other crane is for construction work. There's that huge grandstand, and a man from NTV was just about to interview our race winner.
Yes,
So
imposing shot, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah.
Here at the Norisring, then Marcello Lienauer. We'll be seeing them up on the podium shortly.
So, yep, seventh win of the season for Marcello. He didn't take part in the Zandvoort Masters. Alex Lynn then, and there's Marcello.
No, talking about flat spotting on the tyres, Andrew.
How many flat spots you had? Just saw Christoph Hewer there, who's the series manager. He lives in Maranello, right by the Ferrari factory. He's actually born in Switzerland, but of Italian parents, so he's, he says I'm completely Italian. How's your Italian, Dave?
Well, it's quite an animated conversation.
Yes,
if only we could understand it, Andrew. So let's see that little celebratory punch once again.
Yeah, you got to remember these are just kids, you know.
Yeah.
Guys 18 years old, for heaven's sake, and having all this success, and could be the next great Italian racing hero. And there the team celebrating, and another. So there's Volkswagen cars, Volkswagen powered and backed cars in this championship, including the Carlin team cars, but it's been mainly victories from Mercedes-Benz engines all season. They see the Mercedes name on the what they call the plenum chamber. Speed weekend. First place, race one. No doubt about the man who did it, Rafael Marciello. Little Swede must be, Felix Rosenqvist must be feeling pretty deflated right at this moment.
Yeah.
And of course we will bring you this afternoon an update on that situation. There's the podium. I think they'll be up there just a few seconds time now. Podium party is right there just behind the backdrop.
So we go behind the podium once again. Eavesdrop once again on this Marcello conversation.
Talking with his engineer, Alex Lynn, his dad was racing at Le Mans a couple of weeks ago in the historic event.
Yeah.
A very good, I think he was third if I remember correctly. Sean Lynn, top historic racer. He'll be getting ready for the Silverstone Classic. Lynn Jr. has raced a few historic cars in the past, including I think a Lotus Cortina. I'm not quite sure why this podium is taking so long. The main presenter of the trophies is a man called Peter Dahlmans, who's from the ATS Wheel Company. ATS at one time, of course, being involved with this for a very long time, this championship. And having their own Formula One team. There's Marcello then on the top step of the podium for the 7th time this season. Alex Lynn for Britain. Man from Essex. And still trying to find the man who's third. Where is he? Well, maybe he's a bit surprised. Didn't realise he'd been promoted to third place. Oh, a slightly dodgy haircut, look. Well, it's a bit of a mystery to me why we've only got 2 of them up there. But we have. Slightly different trophy. Makes a change to all those silver cups you've got to polish.
Looked a great, yeah, looked a good trophy. Thomas still there, presenting the team trophy.
Yeah, he's the clerk of the course. He'll be a busy man this weekend. And then Alex Lynn gets his trophy. So there they are, just the trio up on the top step now. And the German sparkling wine will spray.
Well, that was a very odd podium, Andrew, which I can't
There'll
get
be
my
a
head
reason
around
for that, I think.
Yeah.
But, well, and Lynn stood in the 3rd spot, didn't he?
Mm. Yes.
So they may just, they've done this before.
Right.
Just 2nd doesn't exist anymore.
Mm.
So they didn't bump anybody up.
No.
So, well, there's a bit of a stop-start to first Formula 3 race of the weekend here. 2 more to come. Impressed by Nick Cassidy. The usual kinds of incidents which we're seeing now. But proof positive that Raffaele Marcello is back in full speed. And, well, unless Rosenqvist can do something in the next 2 races, going to really accelerate away at the top of that table again. We're still not sure if Rosenqvist will also have a penalty for races 2 and 3. We'll be finding that out, and we'll be rejoining you this afternoon. But from me, Andrew Marriott, and for Dave Richardson, it's goodbye until later.
Bye-bye.